right here,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Open your eyes.
I don't believe it.
Open
I
your
don't
eyes.
believe it.
Open your eyes.
What the hell with you? I don't believe it.
We're right here.
You're here now, but as soon as I'm gone, then you're gonna forget about me. As soon as I'm gone, out of sight, out of mind. That's the thing. It goes with me.
You're gone.
Out of sight, out of mind. That's the way of my life story. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. That's my life story. Out of sight, out of mind. 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 That's my life story. Be quiet. Be quiet. Sit in the corner and be quiet. That's my life story. Don't make any noise.
It's okay for you to make noise here, Tony.
How are you going to listen to those messages, Tony?
What you have just seen is a portion of a therapy session for some people who are struggling with the pain of mental illness. In its many forms, mental illness is a devastating disease. It not only terrorizes the individual who is stricken, but it also wreaks havoc within his or her family. It pushes its victim into a dark and lonely world where thoughts can become disorganized and race out of control, where feelings can become blunted, hollow, and flat. Historically, we have tried to escape the horror and pain of mental illness by keeping it hidden and out of sight. We know so very little about the mysteries of the human mind that when we see one shattered and crumbling before us, we want to blot it out and erase it from our view. Our ignorance and our fear only compound the terrible isolation, the suffering, and the guilt that the victims and their families have already had to endure. We have made a documentary about the experiences of some people who are struggling with mental illness. Our purpose has been to meet them as members of the human family. We have not relied on experts to tell us about the disease, but rather have gone to the people themselves. We wanted to hear them tell their own story so that we could better understand what they care about and how they managed to stand up under the burdens of their awful illness. We shot most of our documentary at a place called Central Manor, which is a halfway house in St. Paul. Only some of the people who live there will appear on your screen. While almost everyone at Central Manor agreed on the importance of our project, not everyone felt ready to share his or her story with the public. For the people who did not appear on camera and whom you will not see, we think it's important for you to know that behind the scenes they gave us a great deal of support and encouragement in our work. And for those people whom you will see, you should also know that it took a great deal of personal courage for them to open their lives to us.
Did the police come in and do it?
No. Out here first.
A little forward and back.
Out here first.
Good. Okay. And again, between exercises, just go
Stand on me. Stand up. Huh?
Okay, we have 2 green transit cards.
Okay, that's neat. That's all right.
Your signature.
All right. Good luck, Steve. All right. Take care.
Okay, Central Manor?
Yeah.
26 East 16. You would happen to have a lighter?
Sure.
Thanks. You can get it to work.
I think I was on Navin then, and I wanted to get off all my meds, even though I was doing pretty well, and I went off really fast. I demanded to be released from all those medications, and that's what happened.
What happened?
I went off them all at once.
Okay.
The heavy ones, the antipsychotic Navin. And I didn't feel psychotic. I was just hyper manic. And so I felt
any reactions going on?
Yeah, the reactions going off were worse than the reactions while I was on. I should have leveled myself off, but I was afraid of.
So you went off your meds and you had some rough times then?
Yeah, I went through a kind of a depression. Yeah, this is it. Thanks. And here's what I've got.
Okay.
Which one? Or both?
Yeah, we get both these.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the meter.
Okay. Okay. Have a good one.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Really? Okay, Ira. We'll get together and get a chance to meet for a little while today and on Wednesday again.
Okay.
Okay. If you got any questions, just let me know. You know where my office is?
Yeah.
Second one right down there.
Steve,
So-
what was your last mailing address?
My last mailing address? I didn't really have a mailing address.
Okay, why don't we work on...
Steve was living on the street before he was hospitalized. After his most recent manic episode, he spent 28 days in a psychiatric ward.
And they lay everything out.
With the help of medication, Steve is now stable enough to be discharged to Central Manor, a halfway house in St. Paul.
Or either one. Are you on monitored medications or anything?
Yes, lithium. 2 tablets twice a day, morning and evening.
You take it morning and evening, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
You start, you'll be coming down here to get your meds to this window then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll need that medication. Okay, and then this is the window that you come to get meds.
Okay.
So you'll take it morning.
Like almost every other resident at Central Manor, Steve needs medication to help control his illness.
Friday. If you have some questions, come and ask me.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
These psychotropic drugs don't cure mental illness, but they can help to subdue its symptoms and make life more manageable. Sometimes there are unpleasant side effects: drowsiness, blurred vision, muscle tremors, dry mouth, weight gain, and slurred speech, to name just a few. Most side effects can be kept in check with additional medication, but there is a growing awareness of the dangers of long-term use of these drugs. In some cases, they can cause permanent nerve damage. Most of the people at Central Manor told us that the side effects are worth it if the medications can protect them from the horrors of their illness. It takes time for psychological wounds to heal. It takes time to recover and to start over again. A halfway house like Central Manor offers safe haven after the battering and turmoil of a psychological storm. Some of the residents of Central Manor stay for only a few months. Others stay for as long as a few years. Most have been hospitalized before, many more than once. It is difficult to predict how long it will be before someone is ready to go back and try it again. There are several obstacles that must be overcome. For many of the residents, the outside world is a source of stress that is too painful to bear. Anxiety attacks and the fear of failure can paralyze a person with a haunting sense of hopelessness. And while the illness itself can make it difficult to focus and organize one's thoughts, the psychotropic drugs can also dull a person's mind. But perhaps the most hateful thing about mental illness is the malicious impact it has on one's family and friends. Few residents still have the support and encouragement of their loved ones. It's twice as hard to struggle back along the road to recovery if no one is there to welcome you. It may be as long as a month before Steve begins to feel safe in his new surroundings.
Here he is. Where's the smile? There it is. My God, I thought you lost it overnight. You had me worried, Dick.
Yeah, did you get a good sized paycheck? You had 6 months, right? Sobriety.
I had the urge to drink, though.
You had what?
The urge to drink.
The urge to drink.
But I changed my mind.
Good for
I
you.
don't have any white yarn, and I was wondering if I could have some, please, Diana.
Look along the boxes along the edge, Nancy. Okay?
Over here?
There should be some there.
Observe Ron for stiffness, med reaction.
Yeah.
That's,
Anything from the other day? Was it a toxic reaction by any chance?
he was looking better when I saw him, and he was looking better yet when somebody else saw him later in the day.
Okay, good.
I think he's probably just make contact with him, continue to draw him back into reality, talk about realistic things with him. He's responsive if somebody's there to respond to him, but he's not going to seek anyone out.
Right.
So we've got to, when we see him, seek him out.
Give him good feedback if he's not isolating himself, too.
See, he's giving them to you at bedtime, Margot, so that you're not so sleepy during the day.
Yeah.
Because you talk about you're so tired all the time.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why he's changing them all to bedtime.
Okay.
And then you shouldn't be so sleepy in the morning.
I get these every morning.
Right. But listen, it's going to take you a couple days before you're not going to feel sleepy in the morning.
Okay.
Because that medicine is built up in your system. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Come on in.
When Nancy was a young girl, her parents thought her behavior was odd. And when she was 12, they placed her in a state institution, where she remained until she was 18.
Did you ever see so many dolls in all your life? This one in the yellow's my favorite. This one's my second favorite.
Where's that from?
France. Made in France.
How long have you been collecting these dolls?
12 years. It'll be 13 years in February. 13 years I've collected dolls.
What do you like about them so much?
They're pretty to look at. They're pretty to look at.
Who are those people up there?
My niece and nephew. Here they are over here. That's Kathy. Kathy. And here's David. He's 8 years old now. This is his recent one.
Mm-hmm.
He's my brother's little boy.
Uh-huh.
And that's my brother's little girl. She's 13 now. And that's me. That's me.
Nancy has spent most of her life living within the mental health system.
Natasha.
Recently, she lost all of her hearing. She can understand others only by lip reading.
Bride and groom. Some people that I know. My brother's wife's brother. And that's his wife. It's Dusty. And then here's my father. He's a nice-looking man for his age. I take 4 pills, really. Artane, Stalazine, Melorel, and Pavura. Those are the only 4 I take. But if I didn't take that medicine, I'd have to go to an institution. I really would. That's me. I'm 2 years old on that picture. My dad told me. And then...
Did you make that?
I made it. Isn't that cute? And it's got my name on it, Nancy, along there. Really nice. I thought up the designs. I mean, I used my own imagination. I'm proud of my work.
You should be.
Thank you. I'm glad you saw my room. It's really nice, isn't it?
How they found out that I was manic depressive was by me where my reality and my fantasy metal mixed together, and I thought I could transport myself into another century and just escape from everybody. And this method does not work. When I'm sick, I can't pull them apart. I can't say, "Whoa, Rick, stop. Cool down." That's when I'm getting sick, and that's when the hospital may be needed. When I can pull myself, I might start swinging an Adam's sword or something, and I just prance around. But I can keep myself from going under. Then that means that I'm healthier. I've learned how to differentiate from fantasy and reality. And this is my Artane.
What does Artane do?
Artane, I forgot. I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'll give it a shot. It blocks the shaking.
Right, it's for side effects.
Side effects.
Okay, what does lithium do?
It controls my
Rick was first hospitalized shortly after he graduated from high school. He's lucky his family has stayed close by him. Before he goes home for a visit, Rick and his caseworker go over his medications.
Evens out the mood swings is enough. What does Stelazine do?
You wouldn't accept it if I said I wouldn't. I don't know, right?
I want you to give it a guess.
Okay. I think it's also for side effects.
Okay. See if any of this sounds familiar, and when you remember, interrupt me and finish it off. Okay. Stelazine is an antipsychotic drug.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to continue?
No. Sorry.
Do you remember?
I remember that part now. It's an antipsychotic drug. I still don't know what it does, but I don't know what an antipsychotic drug is.
What it does is changes some of the chemicals in your brain so that it helps you to think more clearly. And if you'd have delusions or hallucinations, it would make those go away.
I see.
There's none in here.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, in here?
Mike is the father of 3 young sons. 1 is from his second marriage, 2 are from his first. Both marriages broke up because of Mike's chronic mental health problems. He feels lucky because his second wife brings his youngest son by for frequent visits.
It was just a lot of paranoia and a lot of scary thoughts that I've had, you know, and they were really hard to deal with, and I didn't take my medication too, so that had a lot to do with it. Now I'm on medications, and I feel like I can handle it now pretty much. You know, I know what's real and what isn't real. Before I didn't know what was real and what wasn't real.
Was that scary?
Oh, yeah, it really is. I don't know, it's just like if I had a real close friend to talk to or something, it wouldn't have been so bad, but I didn't have nobody to talk to or nothing. Not having my wife there, not having my little boy there anymore, you know, being all alone and not having a family and having no direction or purpose or anything. Just being out of control. It's just, you can't explain it. It's just all unreal. You know, all the stuff that you think. Everything you think of as a fantasy, I mean, comes true. Only it's in your mind. It's not visually, but it's in your mind, and it's there. You know, and you can't see the realness or the unrealness of it. And I keep having these breakdowns. I've had them for 15 years. or I got to go on medications, and then I get off them, and then I go back on medications, and I go off them, and I get back on them. You know, I want to get off them. I don't want to get off the medications. I want to get normal. I want to be like you guys. You know, I want to be out there in the world and experiencing normal things and normal behaviors, normal people, and.
All right, you want to come up here?
You know what? Tell me, what does Michael mean to you?
Michael?
Yeah.
Well, he means a lot to me. He means my future. He's in my plans for the future, as far as buying him stuff, and being with him, and growing up with him from time to time.
What does he do for you? In terms of how he makes you feel?
Brings tears to my eyes. He always does that. Gets me emotional.
No, big one.
Yeah.
Tell me about pool.
Pool? You want to play pool?
Yeah.
All right. No, he means a lot to me.
How often do you get to see him, Mike?
Oh, just about any time I want to. My wife knows I was a good father to him.
See, I've been away from God for about 2 weeks, you know what I mean? God. And I thought that everything bad seems to happen to me, you know what I mean? And I'm praying to God all the time and nothing happens for the good, you know. So I went away from God for 2 weeks and now I'm back with him.
Have things gotten better?
Yeah, things are. But I don't know, see, how to say it because, I'm mentally ill, I'm hard of hearing, and I'm different. See, I got all that on me. Nobody else can survive my life, nobody.
But when you pray, do you feel God listens?
Wait about what?
When you pray, do you feel God listens?
God listens? No, I don't.
Then why do you continue to pray?
Because I think he's got a mission for me, you know what I mean? There must be some reason why I had to suffer all my life, see? And in Catholic religion, I know about the other religions, but they teach that the more suffering you go to, the more heavily you are and the more pious you are, you know what I mean? And still believe in God. That's hard, you know.
At one time, Maureen and Ron were married. They've been divorced for a few years, but they still rely on each other for support and companionship. It is difficult for them when they're not placed in the same facility. They've been at Central Manor now for almost 2 months.
People look at me different and they shun me, you know what I mean? And that's why I have everything bad happen to me because, you know, the people just don't go with me, you know. There's some, I mean, that I can't communicate and, that, you know, they don't want nothing to do with me.
We've known each other for about 11 years. 12 years about. It'll be 12 in about April or something like that. 12 years, wow.
Oh, really?
Are you very close?
Yeah, very close. Extremely close.
How does Ron help you?
Well, let's see.
Say support.
Yeah, he gives me support, and I don't know, he shows me that, you know, I don't know, he had a life like me. He's like me, that's why. He's like me.
What do you need from her?
What I need? Just by being close to her. companionship, you know.
Nancy, this is called a generic. It's a generic, which means that this costs less than the other one.
It's what?
It's less expensive.
This rug takes a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of skill. Gotta know what you're doing in order to do these rugs. I learned how in high school. I made a purple rug in high school. The purple rug was this big. It was a little kid's rug. It had a picture of a clown. I made that for my sister when she was pregnant.
Janet was a young girl when she was first stricken with Tourette's syndrome, a disease of the nervous system that causes her to make uncontrollable movements and vocal sounds. Janet has another problem. When she gets nervous and upset, she scratches the skin off her face, arms, and legs.
Nigger, I just Tourette syndrome. Nigger, I just Tourette syndrome since I was in grade school, child, about 9 years old. First I started out grunting, and as I got older, I used to go like this, my breasts. And I used to go like this, like a dancer. Now I just nigger, I say Nick, and I get stick tongue out once in a while. When I get that month, it gets worse. Otherwise, the Haldol's taking care of the rest. That's all I got to say. I've been in a lot of hospitals for that. Had a lot of blood tests. Had a lot of brain scans. People that don't know, strangers think I'm crazy. Sometimes I think it's because I can't get a boyfriend because of Tourette syndrome. Unless I get a man who has it. Nobody else want me to say.
I wanted to ask you, how do you deal with this syndrome? How do you try to live with it? What do you have to do?
Take medicine. That's all I can do. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't do nothing about it. I wish there was a cure.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us to help us understand better, so that when you say that strangers don't understand, what would you want them to understand about it?
I want them to know I can't help what I do. Sometimes I swear. Sometimes I go, or ding. That's part of the nerve problem. I say dance like that. Kind of funny, ain't it? But it's not to me.
How does it make you feel? How do you feel about it?
Sometimes I'm sad about it, but nothing I can do, I say. Well, that's about all. Can't think. Nigger's my mother. My mother had a stroke on January 1st of 1984, a year ago. Now she's in Birchwood Nursing Home. I like to go see her again. Sometimes I cry for my mother.
What do you want to do, Janet? What would you like to do the rest of your life?
Clean. I like to clean. I love to clean. I always want to become a dancer, though. Could you imagine me on television dancing? Dance. That'd be fun.
Do you do much dancing here?
Whenever there's a party, but I can never find a partner. So I don't want to dance unless I got a partner. As soon as I gotta dance with the broom or something when I can't find a partner. My niece Julie, I got a niece Julie who used to have a ballerina doll when she was a little girl. She's my sister's child. A ballerina doll. You twist that, press that, and she dances around like this. A dancing doll. Ooh, now I'm dizzy. Can't dance like that. That's all I have to say. It's nice meeting you guys.
Same here, Janet. Take care of yourself.
Well, I first knew that something was wrong during my freshman year at the University of Minnesota. During the winter quarter, everything just kind of fell apart. So I went to work and was hospitalized a short time later.
What was going on inside you?
A great deal of suicidal thoughts. There were a lot of times when I had planned to strangle myself off a bridge or just jump from a freeway bridge and get hit by a car.
When we first met him, we knew him as Duane, the name his parents gave him. But then he told us that he wanted to change his name, not just his last, but his first and middle names, too. He said he wanted to break all psychological ties with his family. He felt that changing his name would help free him from the burden of their judgments.
I didn't like growing up at all. If I had my choice, I would not grow up again. I saw my parents quarrel an awful lot. I saw a lot of alienation between brother and sister. I learned to hate my father a great deal. I would be reprimanded. I would be not physically beaten, but psychologically beaten most of the time.
Now he wants to be known as Aaron Michael Chamberlain. The new last name he has taken is the same as his therapist's.
Okay, I want to say one other thing. It's all right that you're mad about what happened today. Do you hear that?
He goes to a program outside Central Manor that is considered uncommon in its approach.
And
Aaron has made what is called a reparenting contract with his therapist.
all right.
In effect, she acts as his mother and he as her son. Together, they will go back and work through the pain and difficulties of Aaron's early childhood.
We're not done any good.
In this session, 2 other members of the group are restraining Aaron to protect him from injury while he works. And his mom is acting as a sort of coach to help him relive the experiences and the powerful feelings of his earliest years.
Leave her alone! Damn you! Leave her alone! Stop it!
And we've talked about that before, about for you.
I believe that she offers me genuine love and genuine care that I really never had. And she also does a lot of nurturing with me, holding me, and every once in a while she'll give me a bottle.
What does that do for you?
It brings me back to a time when I was very, very young. And it allows me to re-experience that in a healthy way and know that I'm safe.
As a child, Wade was hyperactive. He has been on medication since he was 6. But now the drugs help control his depression and thoughts of suicide.
I'm just one of those people that's trying to break even. And I'm gonna do it. It's something I've never had. Lack of is self-confidence. Some people have it worse off than others. I feel very sorry for my wife because she hears voices. And that's something I've never had to deal with. I don't think I'd want to. Hers is at a different stage than mine. I think, if anything, the marriage between me and Becky will get stronger because we both have mental illness. We know what each other is going through. And it's a common bond. Makes it stronger, not weaker.
Wade's wife's name is Becky. She also suffers from mental illness. They were married while they were both living at a different halfway house. Their marriage has been rocky. They are currently separated, but visit each other once or twice a week.
There's a good one of us.
That's you and Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. You guys look pretty happy.
Oh, yeah.
What do you need most?
Love, understanding, hope. And that's about it.
So I get nervous and I scratch. I got itchy skin. That's the reason why I scratch.
And then it cuts you? You end up cutting yourself with your fingernails?
Yep. This itches right here, but I'm not gonna scratch.
Doesn't that hurt?
No. It stops itching, but it makes it sore.
Janet also struggles with an addiction to alcohol, but she has kept herself sober now for 6 months.
Nigger. I was upset about my mother's stroke and upset about having Tourette syndrome. Calmed my Tourette syndrome down a lot. But then the Tourette syndrome got worse. It was jerking and all that. Doing the twitches and hangovers, shaking. I'm going to AA meetings every Thursday and earning sobriety pins. I'm getting another sobriety pin that says 6 months.
And you know, people can get me upset easy because of the way I am. You understand?
No two people
Because
are the same.
I know it, but I'm not like anybody, all right? Nobody.
That's right.
And they know they can get to me, see? They know they can get to me.
It's okay to get mad, but it's not okay to be as mad as you've been for the last 3 days. It's not okay to live here. It's okay to be that mad, but not to live here and be that mad. Because what happens...
Well, what are you doing? Kicking me out then or what?
No, I'm not kicking you out.
Yeah?
I'm putting out a little warning flag so that you know what the stakes are.
So what not?
So that you know what's going on. I'm saying that the way
You're gonna kick me out, right?
No,
What?
I'm not saying I'm gonna kick you out, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
what?
that the situation right now needs to change.
Right, I know it.
It needs to change.
I know that, but I can't help it, you see? I cannot help it. I would be like that if I could. All these people are on my ass, you know what I mean? They're on my ass. You know it.
I believe that you think that they're all on your ass. I believe that you think that.
It isn't that way.
I don't believe everyone's after you.
Most of them, then. Most of them.
It's the time that burns me.
Have you ever had your tongue burned on pizza?
Could you read the first page of the letter, the one that
Read
you
the
wrote?
first page?
Yes.
Okay. Bob, you said you wanted to understand me. If you read this, you will understand me better. When I did something wrong, my mother would say to me, Nancy, I am going to tell your father and let him give you another spanking when he comes home. So I waited for him to come home and spank me. I was always afraid of him. My father didn't hug me after he spanked me or say, Daddy, sorry he had to spank you. Now after I'm grown up, I still feel I should be spanked by other people, though. That's probably why I want to hurt others or myself, to do something bad so I can get a spanking for it, and knowing I'm still loved.
how do you want people to love you?
By spanking me. That's the only thing I want so much.
Why is that better than being hugged?
Why is that better than being hugged? Because you get closer to the person. Get closer to the person that way. Just like a person having sex feels cared for. They want to be loved, so they have sex together. And they feel loved about that. Well, this is the way it makes me feel, loved. I want it and I dream about it and think about it and want it. Just like a girl wants sex with a boy, you know? That's the way I'll always be, probably.
Mike used to hold down as many as 2 or 3 jobs at a time. He owned a home in St. Paul and some country property outside of town. Now he has nothing. He works 1 afternoon a week in the kitchen for some extra pocket money.
Why, you live here too?
Yeah, I live here too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You must be on third.
I'm one of the residents.
You must be on third then, right?
Fifth.
My cigarettes. Hi, Janet. I suppose you didn't get them.
Yeah, I got it.
In a black pack,
In a black pack.
Players.
Yeah, have you ever had this kind before?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna check your scratches again for tomorrow.
These are really old already. Come
Okay,
up.
don't pick them. Okay. Show me your arms too.
That happened a week ago.
A week ago?
See
Okay.
that? That's an old scratch.
How did the doctor tell you to take care of these?
By putting cream on.
What else did he say?
Don't pick them. Don't scratch no more.
Right, what else did he say?
He prescribed some medicine for menstrual cramps.
Okay, what else did he say about your scratches though?
We almost cut it. Nothing. That's about all. Don't
Okay.
pick. Don't scratch.
Yeah, he said don't put Band-Aids on them too. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let the air get at it.
Yep, so they can heal faster that way.
They're itching right now.
Okay. What are you gonna do about the itching?
Put cream on it.
Remember what Cliff Olia told you too? That when they itch, just to pat them.
Oh, don't touch. That hurts.
Okay, sorry.
This is lithium, and this is not a street drug. I want that to be known. And I use that mainly for my, I guess it's low lithium in the brain. So I take more lithium to balance it out. I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure. So I'm going to take this right now. That's it.
And do you notice a significant difference when you're on your medication and taking it regularly?
Definitely. I would either be too depressed to get out of bed without my medication, or too high to really get anything accomplished.
Do you ever have difficulty feeling a sense of belonging or not belonging to what is
The
that?
family.
The family, the friends, the community,
Yeah.
whatever.
I have a difficulty because what I'm feeling is not just depression, but it's a fear. It's a fear of failure. Like you've like you've just made your family, or you disgraced your family, and you just can't see anybody. It's so unacceptable. It's so, I don't know, it's so unexplainable. I didn't know what was happening to me. It was like water rushing from my body, and I couldn't gather it up again. I don't know, It was a long time ago.
Is this difficult for you to talk about now? Okay.
Today is Becky's birthday. She came to Central Manor to spend the afternoon with Wade.
It'll be 10-0 this time, Dad.
Because his illness disables him, he has no job, and he can't afford to buy her a gift.
Happy birthday.
Ever since he was a boy, Pat has had epilepsy. It has made his life very difficult, both at home and on the job. He is also subject to depression. 2 years ago, his wife divorced him after 19 years of marriage, and he doesn't know why.
Every man knows why he gets divorced, but I don't. It's really weird. And I just remember her saying, she just came out and she said, Pat, we were in the front room sitting, I want a divorce. I looked at her. I said, repeat that, say it again. She said, I want a divorce. I said, why? And I'm having a seizure right now.
Are you?
Yeah, we can talk. And I said, why? And she said, I don't know if she gave me the reason there or not. It's like I blacked it out. I didn't want to hear it or something.
You told me one time that the terms of the divorce were that you couldn't go back to the house ever again.
Right.
Is that true?
I think that's still true.
What did they tell you?
Well, it's just what she told me when I left, that you can never come in this place again. I said, okay.
Why do you suppose you said okay, and didn't try to contest it or fight it?
It's too serious. I mean, you don't joke with something like that. And I didn't know what to... I wasn't working at the time, and I just didn't... I didn't know how to approach something like that. I wouldn't know how to fight it. This is Kelly. This is my oldest son, Pat. She's married, by the way. And this is Amy over here, and this is Andy.
No, but you don't have any more contact with either.
These two oldest ones, Kelly or Pat, no. I do think someday Pat will come over and visit me, and show me his car and maybe have another job or something like that.
Pat has fallen in love with Maureen, another resident at Central Manor. They're planning to be married in the fall.
Okay, I give up.
Happy birthday.
After celebrating her birthday with Wade, Becky went home. Later that evening, she began hearing voices. They were telling her to kill herself. She put herself in the hospital, and Wade was called the next morning.
What did she say?
She just told me that she was hearing voices, and they were telling her that she wanted to kill herself.
Rice is all right. Rice is all right.
Last night they were really bad. Because I think you needed to be in there, babe. I'd rather have you in there than dead. I'll probably see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Love you.
Later that night, Wade decided to walk to the hospital to visit Becky. It was 20 degrees below zero.
If I always thought myself mentally ill, I would have no hope for myself. That's exactly the point. I want to crack myself out of that shell by acting goofy. It's not the right way, I know that, but I do that.
But what happens when you act goofy?
Well, then everybody thinks I'm a nut
And why do they think that?
because they think they're seeing the real me.
A lot of people, Rich, who have your diagnosis, manic depression, have that problem. They think because being manic makes them feel good, that it's okay and it's healthy to be that way. And it's not. It's false. It's not real.
My world is going to start caving in on me.
Yeah.
When I have to go out in the world and get a job, I can't be fantasizing. I have to be the reality Rick Holzacker. When I get a girlfriend, I have to talk to her like I am, not like I am Rick Holzacker. I can't be John Wayne or Elvis Presley. They won't accept me that way. They might accept me by being myself. That's a real hard thing for me to do because a lot of myself is so undeterminable. It's so iffy. I've been hurt with my reality life that I just slip in my fantasy life and everything is okay.
I can't tell the future, but I do know that the longer you try to live in your fantasies that way, the harder it's going to be to develop who the real Rich Holzacker is.
I'm sure it's right, what you're saying. I know it's not wrong, but I have a hard time at times accepting that.
Has come from inside.
I'm not going to start crying here. We had a good session.
If you want to cry, go ahead.
No, my eyes are watering. That's enough. I mean, I don't want to start crying now. It's a good time. It's a good time talking to you and getting this out in the open and getting me to realize this.
Rick, that's shit. It's not a good time at all. Like, I'm destroying, or at least trying to destroy, something that you've got a lot of comfort and enjoyment out of. That's not a good time.
My fantasy life is like an easy chair.
And I've just been trying to take a hatchet to it.
Not getting much luck, are you? Well, I think you have.
It is not easy for Eve to be with us. She is very wary of the world, and it takes a long time before she feels she can be safe and trust someone.
Want to use the cup, Eve? No. No? I want to make sure you tell me and show me what you got. Okay.
Well, you're on meds. Then you have all the so-called side effects or whatever the meds involved. You being on them in the first place. And then, why you got on the meds, so if you're acting crazy. But I never acted crazy, and I was put on meds. But they say I was. I remember I was living with Colin Robert Murphy up near Wadena, where my sister and her husband lived, and 4 kids. And we were on a farm, and one day we had a pink house we painted red. Kyle, that's what I called him. Kyle, and I went out on the side porch, and I started having ceremonies for, it was a ritual. So this was off meds and off anything. I wasn't even smoking herb, marijuana as they call it, or anything. And that's what my mother would want me to say, to make sure I wasn't on some, but you know, it's not that you do anyway. But anyway, I buried all these skeletons in a ritual. It was and the next thing I knew, I was down in, there were skeletons. There were bugs and things. I was down in St. Mary's Hospital. They brought me down to St. Mary's. And I stayed there, and then that was the end of Carl. And I was into the hospitals, and that was in 1973. And I haven't been out since. I like this.
I do too.
Eve is an artist. She was trained to be a painter.
Does your painting evolve? Does it change much for you?
Well, it constantly changes. I mean, as you progress, and you just pick up what. Like, I didn't think I was going to use yellow at the beginning, but it turned out to be the color that I wanted the most at the end. You can't tell what you're going to do at the beginning of the painting, and you pick up what. I mean, you see, it was many layers ago that I did this pink.
Eve has not been able to paint much in the last few years.
Having an idea in your mind and putting it on black and white, on whether you paint in red and orange, put it down on paper and see it form a new. I hadn't thought this out now. Let's see. Form a new reality from what you saw it in when you originally conceived painting it. I mean, you can just a lot of my painting is just abstract, not abstract, but well, representational of something else. But it has no, you can't see, I don't want to talk. Is that okay?
Sure.
Pat's youngest son is Andy. He is the only member of the family who visits Pat regularly. He sees his father almost every Sunday.
Amen.
Andy usually arrives in time for church. After Mass, Pat and his son spend the afternoon together. But they don't talk much about the past or about other members of the family.
You don't have gym, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
I'm playing ping pong now.
Oh, yeah? You good at it? Table tennis, they call it.
Yeah. And badminton.
Oh, yeah.
We're starting Grimble next month.
Oh. Do you use a basketball for that? Or what kind of ball?
No, just probably a volleyball.
Oh. Does Mom still drive that Comet? Or the little yellow car?
No, we sold that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, to Dan.
You've had pretty good luck with your team, haven't you? Your basketball? No?
We're 2 and 5.
Oh.
Pat's ex-wife usually picks Andy up at the end of each visit.
See you next week, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice meeting you. I want a mom. I want somebody to be there for me. I want somebody to take care of me.
I feel a lot of warmth. I feel secure. I feel like I don't have to worry that someone's gonna leave me.
Is that your mom?
Yeah. I generally refer to as Julie. It just makes things cleaner.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. What was your relationship with her like?
I don't remember, to tell you the truth.
Really?
It's just, a lot of it is blank. Every once in a while I have something come back to me, but very few things have come back yet.
Well, do you remember more of your father and your relationship with your father than you do of your relationship with your biological mother?
Oh yeah, much more. This is Julie and myself. And the house has got tears.
And you can't recall this moment or what was going on then or anything with your mom?
No, I can't. There's actually one picture where Julie was sitting in a chair, and I actually had to ask who that woman was.
Really? You couldn't see that Julie was your biological mother?
No.
Do you have any memory of early childhood or up to the time she died? Any memory of her at all during that period? Or is the entire relationship with your biological mother just a blank?
It's all a blank.
How about you go and just check where your feelings are at?
There's nothing there. It's just blank.
Can you feel yourself breathing?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you pay attention to that for a minute and breathe all the way down.
Got everything.
You know, they sit around there and they gossip and everything like that. It's usually about me.
What do you think they're talking about?
Well, probably different ways to bug me. Look at them trying to bug me. Look at that guy over there trying to bug me. See? They're stupid, really stupid, those people over there. They're stupid. These people are so low mentality, honest to God, really. You know what I mean? And they got their nerve to bug me. Everything seems so hateful. I mean, the people seem so hateful. And I don't know if that's my imagination, but you know what I mean?
Do you have any family around, Maureen?
Yes, I do. I got 7 sisters.
Do you get to see them much?
No, I don't want to see them. They hate me anyway, my family.
I like to knit. It's relaxing. I like to do needlepoint and embroidery and counter cross stitch and rug hooking and Swedish weaving and crocheting.
Nigger! Ain't my mother a nice looking mother in this picture? Ain't my mother a nice looking woman? Mama. Mama. Nga.
How about that picture up on the wall there, dance feed?
That's a nigger. That's a ballerina. Picture of a ballet dancer I drew. I seen her on Dance Fever, and I thought she was so cute dancing like that. I wanted to keep it. That's why I like dancing. That's why I got ballerina on the wall, because I like to see her dance. Dance! Here's a picture of my kitty cat and a puppy dog. Here's a picture of Brian. Here's the workshop I drew the other day. Basketball court, parking lot, and me.
What does that say in the in between there?
Hey, Foxy Mop Panel Mama, that's me.
Janet attends a special living skills program outside Central Manor.
Here's a good mop.
She prides herself on her cleaning talents.
This mop is tearing off. It's loose. Well, so far the mop ain't streaking. Oh, there's streaking. See what I mean about this dumb mop? It streaks. Come on, mop. Quit streaking, mop. Mop. I don't mind mopping floors, but the mop streaks. I don't like it. It ain't me, it's the mop. I told my boss to get some new mops. Bring a rag mops. Not stupid old, dumb old sponge mop. Dumb mop. There, the floor looks beautiful. That's why they call me Mop Panel Mama.
Read it over, get an idea what it's about. If you have any questions, ask me, then we can sit down and fill it out.
Oh, all right.
But this is also on the supplemental assistance, the MSA.
Oh, I see.
So that'll go along with the Social Security stuff. You can
Okay.
keep this to keep it in.
All right.
After more than 6 months at Central Manor, Mike told his caseworker that he wanted to begin making plans to move out and be on his own.
All we need to do is fill it out before then, but why don't you take some time, read it over. Any questions?
All right.
Let me know.
All right, Ira.
See you later.
Yeah.
First, Mike went to public housing to apply for an apartment.
We'll fill out an application, and then after that, you'll be interviewed by one of the rental technicians.
Oh, all right.
And
You have no savings account, no checking account, no U.S. savings bonds, no stocks, no real estate, no cash.
No. I got some cash on me, a little bit of, I got about $30, something like that.
But not cash in excess of $100.
No,
Do you own any real estate?
no, I don't.
Do you have a business?
No,
Have you disposed of any assets for less than fair market value in the last 2 years?
no.
Okay. You're getting Social Security, $4.90 a month?
Right,
Is that Social Security disability?
right.
Are you disabled or handicapped?
I'm disabled,
And what is your disability?
emotional illness.
Later in the week, Mike went to the welfare office to make sure all his records were up to date.
Okay, your wife, is this where she's living right now?
Right.
Okay. As soon as that divorce becomes finalized, I want you to send in a copy of the divorce decree.
All right.
Okay?
I'm afraid of failing. You know, I'm afraid of not being able to make it and be in the same boat again in a year from now. I'm scared of all them things. If I go out there, I want to do it this time. I want to be able to hold down a job, and I want to be able to support my kid, give him a little bit of money. I've had a lot of normal times in my lifetime. I've had a lot of good jobs. I've had a home. Now I just, you know, I don't have nothing. And that's scary, not having nothing. No money, no home, no car, you know, not a family no more. I'm out of control, you know, in that sense. No, I don't have a grip on life.
Ooh, look at the flower. Look at that flower. Exquisite. Oh, God, I wish my mom could see this.
Rick attends a special program 4 days a week. It's called a pre-vocational program. It doesn't teach him specific job skills, but focuses instead on how to behave once he has a job.
Set it right in there just like that. Put it back where you got it. That's fine, that's fine.
What I have to do is make a life out there for me. There's no life out there. This is the life in here. That's what I live in. And that's what I trap myself in. And if I don't break out of it, I'll never have a normal life.
My name is Deke Branch-Udlinsk. I'm a social worker from Central Manor. I'd like to make an appointment for Maureen to see Dr. Ling as soon as possible because she's feeling like a need for a change. It's pretty urgent. I'm agreeing with her. She's real agitated right now.
See, Pete, this is pretty urgent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing sooner than that.
It'll be a week before Maureen can see her doctor's nurse, and 2 weeks before she can see her doctor.
So Wednesday at 9.
I look like Cupid. And I usually pray about me and Ronnie sticking together and helping each other out too, you know. That's the most important.
I like the picture of Virgin Mary, you know. That's the one I like. Makes you feel good, you know, that's all. You know, it makes you feel good.
I'll always be like this. I always have a bad like this all my life. You know, that's the way it is because of the way I am. See? But without Ronnie, I could not exist, you know. I survived, survive. Exist, I could, but not survive.
Come on, don't think of that, man. Go to the hospital.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Fancy coffee's really good. Here, how's it possible?
Ma'am?
Just a minute, I'm done. Speed it up a little bit. Okay, I see ya. Go ahead.
No, I won't. Okay, come on. They say I'm schizophrenic, which I am, I know that. Hate to admit it, but I am.
Oh. Be careful, Mike.
Getting paranoid about people, what they think of me, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. They think I'm crazy, or they think I'm weird, or whatever. I guess I worry about that a lot. Seems like I'm fighting for my sanity all the time.
Nick, this tab is better than Jack Daniels, better than beer. I drink this every time I buy something to drink. Oh, this is good pop. Wait till I get some more money and I might buy some whole case of it and have it up in my room with the treatment guys. Oh, you got a cup, and you put some ice in a cup at least I can drink the pop out of this? A large cup? Or a 12-ounce cup? Thanks a lot. I'm gonna go somewhere else and talk with you guys. Why did you buy yourself ice cream?
You tell me what's going on. We're doing a documentary for WCCO.
Yeah, me.
Janet was thrown out of this restaurant for talking to herself. A few days before, the manager told us, Janet had caused a disturbance when the restaurant was full at lunchtime.
I was sitting and had a cigarette. There's no ashtrays on those tables over there. Oh, don't worry, I won't be. I'll talk to those boys.
Only reason I asked is because during our rush hour at lunch hour, she came in and made a lot of trouble for customers. And so I don't want to end up along in there. Sure, I appreciate that. Okay, I wanted to find out what was going on. Okay, no, I understand. I'm trying to run a business and she's in there. Don't come back.
What if I do? Then what are you gonna do? Call cops? I've been in jail before. I don't want to go again. What would I do wrong? I was just want to do is sit down. I just come from work, come from a place. Don't you ever do it again, or I'll sue you. They don't want me that dumb. Policeman, some guy threw me out the break and I was talking to myself.
You were?
I was talking.
Let's go talk to yourself on the place. Where do you want to go? Where are you headed for?
I want to sit down and have a bottle. I got sore throat.
Okay, why don't you come this way? We'll sit down over here.
I don't know why they threw me out. I wasn't doing nothing. I'm not going there again.
What would you like to tell them?
Tell them sorry how I'm being. If they say that's all right, we know you can't help it, I'd be happier. Little kids laugh at me, think I'm a clown. That hurts. They just look at me funny and turn their heads. I don't want to talk about that. It hurts me. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. Just deal with it the best way I can.
I don't want to tell the whole world that I'm mentally ill or that I'm crazy. I want to go out in the world. I want to show them that I can go out in the world and not act crazy. And I can still fantasize, but keep it to myself and not use other people who might not understand.
I cried 3 times today. I was in my room. I dreamt that my nigger. I dreamt that my mother ran out on me.
What makes you happy? What do you like?
Dancing. As I say dance. Dancing. Dancing makes you laugh. The ballet is the prettiest thing. It's beautiful.
What's the prettiest thing about them? Don't pick, Janet. Don't pick.
The plie. They go like this. Like this. I like ballet so much I dream about it sometimes. But mostly I dream about my mother.
Because I feel that I can never get another spanking from anyone, you know? So I think about jumping out the window or dying in bed. And I think I deserve to be loved, don't you?
Very much so. Do you ever think that you actually would kill yourself?
Well, I have thought of it real deep. Yes, I believe I would.
But I lost all my real friends because of being in this system. Even my family has kind of let go of me. You know, they don't do things with me or anything. Kind of leave me out in the open, you know, they don't. I don't know, we're just not that close anymore. But I have another family, I got Mike. I'm not gonna wipe off your tongue.
When Mike asks you about the time that you were living here, what are you going to explain to him?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell him. It's really embarrassing. I'll have to explain to him, you know, someday about it. Same with my other 2 boys, that I do have a problem, that I'm schizophrenic. I hope they love me just the way I am. I always wanted the best for my boys. You know, I wanted to do exactly what was right for them. You know, I can do it for them. At least I can do it for them. Let them know they got a good dad.
Open your eyes, Aaron, and look at your mom, so you know you're not alone. How about tell her what you're feeling?
I feel scared.
I don't think my parents knew what was happening. It was just happening. It was just making the change from a normal little boy who used to play kickball to a guy who couldn't handle being a man. They were crying over their son that was growing ill. And they couldn't, I think they were crying because they couldn't stop it. They couldn't do something to stop it.
Seems like this is sort of like the last stop before we're out on the street, you know. So,
Like a slow death. They'll probably kill people like us because we're different. You know what I mean?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
We finished our work at Central Manor a few months ago, but the stories of the people we met did not end when we left. Some of them have progressed, while others have not. Unfortunately, we can't know how quickly or how completely psychological wounds may heal. We can't predict the course one's sickness may take. For many people, mental illness is a condition from which they may never be free. A few days before we left Central Manor, Mike surprised everyone by announcing that he was leaving. Less than a week after he moved out, Mike had to put himself back into the hospital, and currently he's living at another halfway house and is doing well. Nancy had a brief but difficult period of frustration and anger, but she's calm again. She's now learning sign language. Maureen became more difficult. She had to be re-hospitalized, and she's now living at another halfway house. But Ron is still at Central Manor, living by himself. Wade has become more depressed, and his relationship with Becky remains shaky. One night, when he was feeling especially low, Rick took an overdose of sleeping pills. Fortunately, he didn't harm himself, and his caseworker reports that he is doing better than ever. Pat moved out with Maureen, but things have not gone well because it's hard for them to manage a household by themselves. Their relationship is being strained in unexpected ways. After more than 8 months of sobriety, Janet went out and got drunk. She's moved out of Central Manor, is living now at a chemical dependency facility. Aaron became frustrated with his therapy and he stopped going. Recently, however, he renewed his commitment to therapy and has once again returned to the program. Eve still keeps very much to herself. The people we met at Central Manor suffer with the pain and confusion of mental illness. They live alone in a world that is fragile and uncertain. False starts and sudden setbacks often make the road to recovery a shadowy path. No beginning and no end. They need to know that they've not been abandoned. They need to know that whether or not they recover, they belong to the human family. They need to know, as we all do, that there is someone who cares whether they live or die. I'm Dave Moore.